What's going on, everybody? Paul and Omar
What's
in a
up, man?
conversation.
So it's Paul Newell from what? Your business name?
New Wellness Guide.
The Wellness Guy.
That's right.
Website?
www.newwellnessguide.com. NEWLLNESSGUIDE.
So we here, man. We come to bring the conversation to y'all, man. We've been talking lately and going over some different things and having some different energy going on in our personal life. We want to share it with y'all because I think it can benefit a lot of people.
True. Conversation today, because I was in a space when I talked to O this morning, and I found out that a black man I was connected to on Facebook, I say was, because he committed suicide on Friday past, end of September. I think September is Suicide Prevention Month. And it has me in a space. What I mean by that, it has me feeling, I'm feeling sadness, I'm feeling discomfort, I'm feeling anger that this young brother took his life, feeling powerless, because when I look at the stats, this is something that's happening to a lot of black men.
Right.
And actually, it's the rate of suicide is actually going up higher in young black boys between, I think it's 7 and 12. So this is, I was talking to O about this, and we wanted to bring this to this video because I see this as something that's going to continue to get worse if we keep ignoring the symptoms of depression, anxiety, and we started getting the conversation from there.
So let's get into it because you laid it out a lot. I was gonna wait to drop that bomb about why we're talking about it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get into a little bit more about it because even before that we was conversating about stress, relationships, relationships with ourselves, relationship with money, relationship with family, relationship with life, and understanding who we are, getting our identity back, and reclaiming who we are, and meeting ourselves halfway. Like I told you before, when you use the word depression, it's something I'm not familiar with. I'm not. I mean, in the last 4 or 5 years, I've been met with it with a woman that I've been dealing with, to discuss and talking to, and building a relationship with in the past, and that was my first time ever really listening to it,
right,
to understand what it is, because I had shut it down all my life. Like, what? Really? It's a mindset. Right. Is depression really real? Is it really something serious, or are we giving something too much attention to validate maybe our lack of coping mechanisms? When you're stressing how to cope, if you don't cope with it, if you do like most African Americans or kings and queens, we don't talk about it. We ignore it. We push it to the side. We go to the club. We drink. Some read. Some pick up different habits. But is that really dealing with it? So we might have coping mechanisms, but we're not dealing with it. So we can push it to the side and avoid it,
Right.
and then it festers.
Right.
And
Well,
then,
yes.
and then we don't know when. Then after a while, we put so many layers to it, we done lost the reason why we got to that point
Right.
of feeling so down. We got deeper and deeper and deeper, but we kept covering and covering. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
Yes, I do.
As a trainer, I'm a strength coach, a performance guy. I'm a strength conditioning coach. I've trained from 12 years old to pros and athletes, and depression on all levels.
Mm-hmm.
You see from the NBA, you see two pros talk about being depressed last year. That was solid. I give those two people, Kevin Love and brother from San Antonio Spurs now.
Danny Green?
No, not Danny Green. He plays for Spurs now, but he came from
DeMar DeRozan.
DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah.
There you go. He wrote the article. So it's becoming a stigma. It wasn't big in the black community in the past. It wasn't big in the African American community. It wasn't something that we normally hear about. It wasn't. But now it's something you got to deal with now, because now it's big for me. Cause I really didn't again. To me, when you kind of in tune with yourself and you kind of falling out of line, you find ways to pick yourself back up and try to deal with what's going on and write it down. Everybody has their own solutions to it.
Right.
But let's dig deeper into what you said about, and I always, anxiety leads to depression. Anxiety is a form is an element that can maybe lead to depression, or anxiety is what?
Well, it's actually I want to bring in our conversation from a couple of days ago.
Okay.
With what you were talking to me about.
Okay.
Being able to let it go.
Because
we probably going in.
Yeah.
So because
Keep going.
So the thing for me is, and one of the reasons I'm happy I have support from people like Omar in my life is because, I've had spots of depression. I have anxiety in a lot of situations in my life. And always been one of those people in my life that has always been authentic with me and always told me the real. And he was telling me, he was like, Paul, man, you gotta let stuff go. You gotta let stuff go. And the thing for me is, O's known me for 10 plus years now. And he's know I've been the people pleaser cat, like, hey, everybody, stuff things down. And like you were saying before, how do we cope?
Make other people feel comfortable.
Yes.
He's a people pleaser, but also just a ray of light to other people, a ray of light to a lot of people, and maybe overexerting that and losing yourself.
Yes, and that's basically like when you said that, when we had that conversation, man, that was deep for me, man. That was really rich for me because I looked at that. I was like, wow, I'm helping everybody else. Like you said something to me, like, yo, man, take those principles you're doing for everybody else and bring them to yourself. And that's the piece of really implementing the coping mechanisms, man. Because like this is the thing, I'm used to covering things up and stuffing things down. And one of the things you saw in me is that you're like, yo, man, you still holding anger, right? And this is something that I sense in the community, in black communities, in men and male communities, where it's a concept of I'm good. Nah, you know what? Hey, Paul's everything. Hey, everything's great. Well, really, I'm crumbling and I'm burning inside. Right. I'm stuffing things in. And in situations with baby mamas, finances, my life purpose, what's happening, like who I am, things that because and always know me for a while. You even said like, Paul, you in your head too, you in your head.
Well,
and I could be there.
You're saying a lot, man. You said some covering up and stuffing some things that people may not understand what you're saying, but we both healers, man, and we work with a lot of people to heal and help. As a yoga instructor, as a mindfulness coach, and a whole lot of other things, training, personal trainer, me as a coach, I've been doing that for almost 15, 20 years. So we always giving out our energy and around other people. So people read your energy, feeding off your energy all the time, and we don't have nowhere else to dump our energy on, because we are people too. So when we conversate and we communicate, I try to get to the core things, because my circle's super tight. So if you're in my circle, I want to be 100 with you. And I expect you to be 100 with me, because I need to hear the same thing that you need. So, I feel that sometimes like the energy of anger and the things, that time we had that conversation was about the anger, and a lot of men walk around with a lot of anger in us. Give you a scenario. A young lady I talk to often, she's a teacher, a friend of mine, and she teaches, I think, 2nd grade. She has a 7-year-old kid, I guess 7-year-old in 2nd grade, who put his hands on the music teacher. The music teacher's over 300 pounds. This kid, a 7-year-old kid, punched and scratched a 300-pound man. They want him suspending him. The day before, they had to call his parents, and the parents never came. This video is because there's certain things going on in our circle, in our spirit, in our life, that could be overwhelming to a lot of people, that a lot of people are going through too, and we want to share with you. So this is that, I never shared that with you, because it just blew my mind, that it just makes me laugh, like, wow. And here's the point I talked to her about. The principal is a woman, the men's teacher, the music teacher, I think, is a man, and this young lady I'm talking to is a female. But so the principal was, the young kids in the principal office, the principal says, do you regret doing that? The kid says, no, I would do that again. Matter of fact, next Friday I'll do that again. This is real. This is 2nd grade. And then it's just so much that just between his anger, because obviously he got anger issues.
Right. Yeah.
And when we talk about at our age, having anger or bitterness issues, and I deal with and like a lot of people having this victim mindset, where some people get used to being a victim and they kind of hold on to it, and and kind of like prize possession.
Man, there's so many ways we can go with this, man.
I'm just gonna let it flow because people are gonna take what they want to take.
Yeah,
what talk about.
True.
And sure, I don't want to stare too deep. I just want to make sure that we hit on different notes. And other people might want to say, hey, leave in the comment section, leave something down here, and be able to share in our next, make go live and get some conversation going on.
Yeah.
But the depression is something that, across the board, again, I had a hard time understanding what it is. And I was in a relationship with a sister that became very depressed. And I'm not going to lie, I was part of the reason why she got depressed. I would never lie to myself and anybody else that I didn't contribute to the beginning of that. I see things in her that, and a lot of people have the same issues as confidence, probably issues. It goes into lack of confidence and self-esteem. That's the biggest culprit probably in our culture is lack of self-esteem. That makes us very vulnerable to a lot of other things, to questioning ourselves, not liking the way we look, covering ourselves with this hair and new sneakers every day, new bag, all these facades that we got to keep up with.
Right.
That causes anxiety because you run out of money now. What you going to have to buy to make yourself feel better now? So it goes a lot of ways when it comes down to depression.
Well, hold on. Question for you, right? Because how did you know that she was depressed? Were there signs that you saw, or did she say, I'm depressed?
No, I had seen no signs because, again, I'm not familiar with it.
Gotcha.
I'm not familiar with it. And plus, you know what? As a healer, my methodology, I don't claim it.
Right.
I wouldn't claim it. And to this day, she claims it because she said the devil is working on me.
Right.
She told me she's depressed, to answer your question. I'm depressed. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm 100% with it because I want to keep it real. I'm like, that's weak. What's wrong? Why you then as I got 3-4 years later and realized it is something serious, I'm like, man, don't keep putting that in your head.
Right.
But I get it. You gotta let me know you are depressed.
Right.
I guess as an outlet.
This is why I asked, because the word depression. Okay, I'm feeling down. Are you depressed? Like, I'm feeling sluggish. Are you depressed? I don't know. That's why I'm looking to it. My thing is, when we say we're depressed,
Good point.
what does that mean?
Good point.
Because that goes into the anxiety piece. Like, we can say, like, for me, what makes me think that I'm depressed? All right, well, I was low in energy, right? I didn't feel like doing much. I felt like I was walking in quicksand. I felt like everything was slowed down. It wasn't until when I first recognized this was when my dad passed away almost 20 years ago. And a therapist called it out.
There you go.
Now I was. This is why I asked, because I was like, I'm good, man. Like, you know what, man? I just need to eat better. Or let me go hit up the cardio. Let me go hit some weights. Or I didn't get enough sleep. Right? And I was like, and now
you're trying to bring practical solutions to things.
Right, man.
Not understand what depression may be, or understand the effects of it and what the person was seeing.
Now the thing is what I've learned too is it's also about identifying the emotions, like what people throw around now is emotional intelligence. Like identifying, like, okay, well tell me what's going on.
Okay.
It's being able, because what happens is like depression and anxiety is like a amygdala. It's like a limbic system function. Like the limbic system is responsible for our fight or flight. So if there's some situation where all of a sudden it's like, I don't know what to do here, like this is foreign for me, I don't feel comfortable.
Okay.
The brain is going to be like, oh shoot, it's either we got to fight, run, or freeze. Like, what do we got to do here? Now we're sending all these hormones and chemicals through the body that affect us in a certain way. When I started learning to identify, like, you know what actually, what's going on for you? Like, I'm feeling sad right now. Well, what is it that's making you sad? Well, this, and this.
But you
See what I'm saying?
the brother's getting deep over here in the biological functions of the body and organs and different things.
Right.
And that's the effects of the anxieties that you're talking about.
It is.
But anxiety is something, I guess, is a form of stress to another level.
It is.
But these words we're using, it's kind of like it's giving putting things in perspective on how you feel. So basically, it's dealing with your feelings, right?
Yeah,
But
man.
you just said something that may resonate with y'all, it resonated with me when you said, are you depressed? Are you feeling depressed? Or are you feeling down? How far down are you feeling? Meaning, are you feeling like, this is like therapy sessions that parents and maybe teachers and coaches and friends can do with their friends.
Right.
To find out and to avoid people who going under the radar.
Right.
It's really hurt.
Let's see. Ooh.
So just take what you said is how to break it down. Because you just gave something. And I like to always bring it down and give you examples. It's like, I'm hungry. Well, I can eat right now. Are you hungry?
Right.
I can eat right now, but are you hungry?
Right.
So, what determines if you're hungry or not?
Right.
Like, it's just a matter of just self-analyzation, getting to know yourself better.
Right.
But without getting too far off, anxiety and depression is very important. That's like kind of our bottom line.
Yes.
We need to deal with in our community.
Yes.
And the other thing that we just ran into is, I'm hoping y'all can hear us out there, is, as a coach, I work with a female basketball team right now. And one of the young ladies afterwards, I see her in our workouts a lot, and my radar's on, and her body language is not good. And a lot of times as a coach, I'm used to winning. I come from a winning background. I'm used to, the attitude, the temperament. But I'm starting to understand a little bit more about the humbleness of life and dealing with females and how the value of females at all levels, the value to the society that females bring. And I am not talking about job, money, sex. I'm talking the value of reproduction, the value of center of the household type of thing.
Like
The nurturing. Oh, that's creation, right? That's. So when I'm dealing with them, I'm seeing her, this young lady we just seen, and her body language is off. And we kind of try to get to them. And that's not my part of my job. I'm not a psychiatrist. Let's do this disclaimer. Neither one of us is a psychiatrist.
Right.
I didn't go to school for psychiatry. I went to school for communications and interpersonal communications to understand who I am and how to deal with what I'm feeling and how to communicate those things and how to deal with managing other people.
And also a disclaimer is like, while you're not a therapist, a good coach is able to see signs and ask the right questions or ask questions to dive deeper and communicate effectively.
Definitely a good coach that cares.
Right.
Or a good coach that cares really will try to get deeper into it. But that's just where I'm at now. 5 years ago, I wouldn't have been there probably. You know what I mean? Your body language sucks. You're not working hard enough. You're pulling the team down. People reading your body language is not good. You're not being a leader.
Right.
That's the mindset. But now, as you get more mature, more wisdom, and you're coaching, you realize your power is bringing kids up,
Right.
meeting them where they at, pushing them to get better. Having one conversation can change the whole fabric of their life. Especially a college kid. I was in college before. I get it. I understand it. Come to college with like a light bulb. Your eyes open and you're just trying to figure out life. First time away from home and you're trying to get your identity together. So I get it now, especially when it comes down to females, because they're a little bit more easy to have a real conversation with.
Right.
You don't have this ego and bravado that you got to go through.
Right.
So, the young lady just finished, her body language is not good, and she opened up and she said she's dealing with headaches and different things. So our whole thing, this conversation purpose is just to lend a hand to everybody, share some of the things that we go through on a day-to-day basis. Me and Paul had a deep conversation that he brought up earlier about him being bitter and holding on to some bitterness from 20 years ago that is sucking him up. It was deep that you realize your hip and your stomach is being bothered by it.
Yes.
He's having physical issues because of some emotional trauma.
This is true.
that hasn't been dealt with thoroughly. So that is something in itself, you gotta give them praise for even realizing that. Most people, you don't know, your stomach's hurting because you got stress in your mind, you got anxiety, you worry about your job, you worry about your interview coming up. You don't know how your job, what you just send the email to your boss, you don't know how the boss is gonna respond to. Right. And you're like, man, you eat all day, you don't know why you eat. Why you eat? Because you're so caught up in that email you sent, you're not sure the feedback you're gonna get, you're uncertain.
Fight or flight,
you're uncertain.
In. Yep.
So it's just fear.
Yep.
It's the word fear. And that goes into a whole other conversation about we got the Napoleon Hill book, Outwitting the Devil. We'll do that in the next segment. We'll do the next segment. Yeah. But you know, I want to get around to some solutions.
Right.
I want to give y'all some ideas where I think there may be solutions on how we can cope together and work some things out. And I'll let you go. You want me to go? Or you want to go first? Are you ready now?
Yeah, because I'm still on some.
Oh, you want me to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go first.
So man, listen. So as me as being who I am, I always, you know, number one thing I gotta say I recently realized is positive talk, self-talk. I'm around people in my personal relationship, kids that I have them talking down to themselves, and I had to realize I'm knocking them down too, because I'm telling them to do it, they're doing it, but then you as a coach, we all know the details is how you win. The details, the fine details, touching that line, doing extra, doing more than I asked you to do, getting there early, staying late. We all know those things. Being a talker, communicating, pushing each other. But we don't know that person we're dealing with. We just giving them the certain things that we need to do as a coach for us to win. But how about teaching them how to win in life and as a purpose, of the person? So one of my things I'm saying is self-talk. Yeah. Talk good to yourself. The world is going to challenge you. Your family's going to challenge you. Your woman's going to challenge you. Your kids are going to challenge you. Your job's going to challenge you. Your health, your diet's going to... Talk to yourself with a purpose of love. Yes. Love starts from within, right, and we have to learn how to reclaim that love. I'm in the process of doing it. It's a regular struggle, but I want people in our circle, you, P, in our circle to talk about what we can do to love ourselves, hold each other accountable. When we do not love, we do things that's unloving to a degree. Yep. The little things that we do that we don't know, because we don't know that we especially when it comes down to your outer looks. Yeah. You might not like certain things. Like I don't like that I'm having ingrown hair and things of that nature. It's not something I'm used to. So it's hard for me it triggers things with me. So I got to deal with those things. I can't cover it up like it doesn't bother me, but I can't let it conquer me because it's not who I am. Right. I'm more than that. Right. Exactly. You know what I mean? A female, you're more than your breasts, you're more than your ass, you're more than your butt, you're more than your tattoos, you're more than your hair. You know what I mean? But men, we're more than our Gucci belts. We're more than our wallet, we're more than those things. You got a purpose.
More than a paycheck. Okay? You're more than a paycheck. For the guys out there, the men get caught up in like that provision bull stuff. Because that's another thing that's going on. Men aren't making as much as they used to. And there's a balancing out of the masculine and feminine. And there's some men out there that feel less than because they're not doing what have you with the paycheck.
Talk it up, man. I don't know if they're hearing you. Yeah, make sure you heard that point. That's a strong point.
This is what's happening in the male culture. And like, this is why.
And the family
dynamic.
The family dynamics.
This is the thing I'm finding that there are men that, because now maybe their wives are going to work, or maybe their wives make more money, or I'm going to say partners, right? Their partners maybe make more money, and they have yet to see themselves as a partner. Rather, they're still seeing themselves in that old construct and conditioning of like, I should be the one that's making this much money. I should be the one that's doing this. And when that's not happening, they're feeling less than about themselves.
But is that the pressure of social? Is that the social construct that they put out there? What a man's supposed to do?
Yes, that is the social construct. Okay. Yeah, and the thing is that most people are falling into it. That's what, and I think that is support. That's remedied what you're saying with the self-talk, with the communication. The thing is like what I see is there becomes more anxiety because guess what? Oh well, well shoot, man, I'm not making this much like I used to, or like, you know, I'm home with the kids or what have you. Like, yo, you're being a partner. Like, how are you being a partner with this person?
So let me listen. How do you become a partner if you're making Okay, you're not working. You got laid off, and your partner's pulling the weight for now. How do you still become a partner?
That's
how do you
communication.
still hold your own and be proud of who you are in this relationship?
It's radical. It's authentic communication. Because let me explain why. Let me explain this. Because if I'm in a situation where, and this is one of the things that I get to let go of, because as a dad, right, especially I'm following my purpose, and I don't make what I used to when I was in the corporate world. Corporate world was killing me. I have children. I also have child support. Like my child support doesn't come in as much as it used to, so or as consistent. So there's stress and anxiety. Now with one of my baby's moms, there's an opportunity for us to, I said one of them because there's a whole other story. With one of my baby's moms, there's an opportunity for me to really work this through.
Let's go child's mother.
Yes.
The
mother of my children,
yeah.
to be for the highest good of all.
The nurture.
One of the mothers of my children, the mother of one of my children. There's opportunity to work through things. The mother of another child, very difficult to have that because there's a difficulty in communication. From my perspective, because it's not just one person, it's two people dance. There's from my perspective of, well, I'm not bringing in this much, so what value do I bring as a father, as a provider? And that's something that comes up that can sometimes bring about that sadness and feelings in me.
But let's get to what can somebody do in that situation to build themselves up. What is my question? What's the role of how you build? If you are lacking in finances, what other elements that you can make happen?
That person's got to know about themselves first to know what they can bring to the table.
Well, I mean, but you can bring. But as a man, you know what you bring to yourself. You're supposed to.
Do you? Do
I mean,
man?
okay.
For real.
So isn't the number one natural thing is a protector? As a man, maybe some don't know they're a protector. Okay, let's not assume that. I guess this generation and this way we in now. But as a man, you don't have to have money to protect somebody. That's my check.
Right.
Well,
now, okay.
But you don't have to protect. I mean, that's number one for a female. They want protection. They want to feel secure. That's number one. That's one of the elements of love in family and relationship structure is security.
Right.
Females fight. I mean, most of us fight for job security, but we need security of life. So your kids need protection. She needs protection. She needs to feel secure. You know what I mean? I would think so. These days, some women don't. Some women are more manly than women. I mean, that's a whole other conversation. But let's stick to the formality of what we here for.
Right.
And one of my things is protection. So let's stick with that. And anything else you want to add to that?
Well,
that besides protection, that's one.
Yes, it's protection, boundaries, like protecting the home and protecting the realm. Direction. Support.
So God, direction.
Yes, and now I'm quoting this from masculine traits and feminine traits.
Okay.
Right, because
chemistry-wise.
Because in reality, men and women hold masculine and feminine traits.
Okay.
So the masculine trait is that of protection, that of a guardian, that of boundaries, that of holding the line.
Okay.
That one of we're gonna have to. This is the direction that we're gonna go.
Gotcha.
The feminine energy is more one of the nurturing, the creation. In the creation, there's chaos. It's like there's a lot of different directions that it can go.
Okay.
It's like in the different directions.
So you said that. So you said direction.
Mm-hmm.
You said boundaries and direction, right?
Right.
So I can't say I understand exactly when it comes down to boundaries, but I think you're saying along the line of just holding the line as a male, you hold the line as a female, and if females value the male and male value the females, we should see how we can make each other better, with or without money.
Right.
So, and that goes back to the old school where my family, my I ain't gotta say my family because I can't say that. I'm saying because it goes back to old school where people got married and was broke.
Right.
And it was sustained and built together. Sustainable love without finances.
Right.
But you have a partner you can build with. You have a lady that you know that you can communicate, secure each other emotionally, and then you can grow. Because that's complement each other. You're building that, you're putting that good dirt in the soil, that's good soil,
right.
So you can grow in these flowers together. So you don't need finances to do that, but you need somebody responsible, accountable, protector, play the role as a female and male. Understand those things. And know what love is. A lot of us haven't seen love in that household. You know what I mean? And everybody loves differently. That's what I had to learn. You gotta learn how your person loves. They might love by saying, "Did you eat today?" That's their way of loving somebody. You might love by hugging. You're a touchy person. Everybody loves differently, and you kind of respect each other's ways of loving, and then you can meet halfway, and then kind of like talk to each other. Hey, the way you did that other day kind of like made me feel comfortable. The way you did the other day felt good, baby. That was the best thing that you've done. You know, I felt so you communicate and give each other confirmation, so that she knows what you like to do, your triggers, and you know each other like triggers. So that's the communication part you talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well. Oh man, I just lost my train of thought. Yeah.
Man, everybody leave your comments, share.
Yeah.
This is our first, and hopefully it's the last, because we're gonna keep sharing and giving y'all some insight from a male perspective, and we'll have some female down the line and communicate. But we wanted to really get together. I'm all about solutions, and I don't like to continue to go over I'm gonna say quote unquote, my sister would kill me, but drama or anxiety and all those elements. Because a lot of people are familiar with anxiety in our community.
Right.
We all familiar with not knowing when our next check's gonna come, or if this man's gonna fire us because of our color or because of my hair, then we gotta cut it. We all know these things. The climate, the peace right now going. We all know the anxiety issues. But do we know if natural marijuana helps us? Do we know if going to the dancing helps our spirit? Do we know that communicating with your loved one or anybody, or jotting things down or writing down, do we have habits to help us cope with us and heal and deal, the word deal with the issue, not run around it, not avoid it. We got to have these tough conversations with ourselves first so that we can process things before we get emotionally and let it out with somebody. But we just got to deal, and that's kind of a major issue, a major challenge or hurdle that we have to continue to deal with when it comes down to ourselves. This is about ourselves, getting better for ourselves, not for anybody else, but for ourselves. And that's what one of the things I really wanted to go over.
I want to come back to because you said, what can we do to help? And the first thing what can people do to remedy this? And the first thing you have is self-talk, right? Talk from love.
Right.
I want to come back to that and give a second option. Have authentic support. Have authentic support. What does that mean? What we're talking about before, someone that's going to be 100 with you, someone that's going to tell you the truth, someone that's going to be honest, someone's going to help you see your blind spots, and also someone that you are able to create. In the work I do, I call it creating a container. And what that basically means is like how O and I have a relationship here. This is a container of authenticity and truth. There's an exchange of information that can go back and forth. That could be with your partner, that could be in a job, that could be with your career, whatever that is. But have that authentic support, because people are going to need that to really battle depression and anxiety.
So having authentic support, and then the portion of self-love, and that's just a word. Now you got to add how you're going to execute self-love, what self-love really means. When we said talking to yourself, talking to yourself is one example of self-love. Something that I do on a regular basis. I work out. That's an investment in myself. It's very therapeutic for me, but it's also an investment in myself because I'm putting back some positive energy and challenging my body and letting the hormones go with it and go.
Yeah.
I'm getting the physical side of it. I'm letting out some steam, some anger, some issues when I do go sometimes, not as much, but boxing, kickboxing, people do yoga.
Yep.
A yoga instructor here, he knows about yoga and know how to breathe and having an system of breathing, sitting still and coping. So those are all self-love habits, attributes that you can inherit and start to use. And if you want more details on that, you can leave a comment on the bottom or things of that nature, and we can definitely elaborate a little bit more. Put together a list that we can, maybe email to y'all, some things like that. But
so I got something, because this is what the point was I was gonna say when I lost it. Self-love is one thing, right? And knowing that is something too. Can you receive love? Can you receive love? Okay.
Can you or do you receive it?
Can you?
But how do you know you can? What do you mean?
If someone, for example, here's the test. If someone gives you a compliment, okay, how do you feel? Do you say thank you and you receive it, like you let it sink in, like, yeah, I am freaking good at what I do? Or is there, you know what, it was a team, like, you know, yeah, it wasn't that big a thing. Or like, oh, this thing, you know, I got it on, you know, being able to receive love. This is a piece that, in my judgment, a lot of people get to work with. And I'll give you an example. One of the things I do is I have a men's group. I have a men's mastermind and a podcast. And in one of the groups that I took people through, like men specifically, we had a section on receiving their love, receiving self-love. And as an action, I had them sit in a tub, in an Epsom salt bath for 60 minutes.
But I think I'm a little confused on it. It's one thing only. Self-love is you loving yourself. Has nothing to do with somebody outside saying something to you. You gotta get to a point where you love yourself to be able to receive that compliment you're talking about. So the compliment comes in, and you don't even know how to receive it because you feel uncomfortable. Within yourself, you feel comfortable.
Receiving, before you get to self-love, can you receive love? Because if there's a block in receiving love, self-love, it's going to be difficult to get to self-love.
I think it's opposite because self-love is you forming a relationship with yourself. If you don't have a relationship with yourself, then your life might be based on other people loving you. So you're going to receive it because you're looking for it because you don't love yourself. And that's what's happening already. People buying things to love themselves, people looking for attention, women with tight pants, tight stuff, looking for attention, to get the love, that attention, because they lack. That's not love. That's attention. No, but that's attention, man. So we got to look at what breeds love. If a kid wants your attention as a daddy, that attention may be loving attention. It may be bad attention. It may be different types of attention. But they just want you. If you ever taught before in class, some kid over there always crying and complaining. They want attention. They might be missing love and attention. Attention is a form of love.
Yes.
Because you're giving somebody attention. But the way they go about getting it, maybe the way they go about getting it is a different story. My point is, people might not know what love is. So they put on certain things to get attention because they think that's love.
They think that's love.
But the attention could be loving attention.
For them?
That's a whole nother. No. Your mom feeding you is attention in her form of love to you. Everybody shows love differently. So the attention,
thank you. Yes.
We said that earlier, but everybody forms love differently. So you got to learn how to. They might say, "Did you eat today?" That's their form of love, nurturing you. You eat today.
Okay.
They might never say, "I love you." Most men, a lot of people don't never say, "I love you."
Right.
It's uncomfortable for men to say, "I love you," to each other or to themselves.
Right.
So it starts within. You got to build your building block. Got to start from within, so that you can accept and appreciate a compliment from outside. If you don't, put it this way, if I tell a young man, dribble him more, he getting better at his game, and he don't receive it in a way, like he's brushing it off, like you said, I said, that happened today. I said, bro, you got 90 in the test? Let's go. He's like, nah, I think everybody got 92. How do you know that? Why are you knocking when you know that? Why are you knocking it? You already turned it in the corner and not appreciating the fact that you got a 90.
Right. Because for him, it's not good enough.
No, it's good enough because I know that he's going to get 90. So I tell him, like, yo, that's big.
But for him, though, does he think that's good enough?
No, nothing be good enough if you don't love yourself. If you don't love yourself, things will never be good enough because you don't appreciate yourself. If you appreciate yourself, you're gonna know when somebody come love you. You're gonna know what it feels like because you love yourself. Right. You're teaching people how to love you because you love yourself.
So this is why I'm coming back to this because like the original thing is depression and anxiety. I heard you also say before you can't you have problems relating to that, right?
No. I used to. I don't want to.
You used
look, we spent with the depression side. We look at solutions now.
I get. I follow what you're saying.
Okay, good.
What I'm saying is you like I'm just going off of because for someone that's depressed, self-love is a mission impossible.
Right, but we talking about solutions to get us to turn the corner.
What you're saying, bro.
Oh, we not saying that?
What I'm saying is, for someone that's depressed, you're talking about self-love is it. And what I'm saying is, can they receive love? Because for someone that's depressed, sometimes they have to believe what someone else says until they believe it themselves.
True.
You see what I'm saying? This is what I'm talking about with the depression, anxiety.
So
this is what.
hold
on.
So
this is the thing that's happening right now in the community. Everybody's talking this self-love and this popcorn bubblegum bullshit and it's spiritual bypassing. That's why more people are depressed and anxious, because you're preaching self-love. Let's do this. Everybody love each other. Yeah, you gotta love yourself. And it's for somebody that's in it, they're having difficulty seeing that shit. Oh.
So you're saying two things. You meet the person where they at.
Right.
When we talk about solutions, I'm talking about ways to prevent it from happening, to get deeper in depression. Depression is no. Let me finish. There's depression. There's layers to depression. Mm-hmm. This whole conversation is not about depression. It's about dealing with your anxiety, so you won't get into depression. So we're saying, how do you have if you have a foundation of self-love or loving who you are, or appreciating who you are, you have someone to reflect back when you get in an anxiety moment. Or we just talked about the girl. If she has a methodology of working hard, she won't be so stressed about making the team. You're gonna have anxiety because that's just natural. You ever did a speech and gotta go in front of an audience you never did before? You get anxiety, sweat,
yes.
but you're gonna deal with it because, yo, I'm built for this. I'm ready for this. I did all this. You got your whole like model, and you know you put in this work. And you know you did it. You can count your, I put 22 hours into this. I know I can do this. Right. You're fortifying your anxiety. You're fortifying the other side of anxiety. Life's about balance, right? So the balance, this construction I'm saying, is building a foundation of self-love so that you can balance out when depression or anxiety hits. You're not talking down to yourself. That's the example of talking down to yourself. Right. And it's not the word of self-love. It's building a relationship with yourself so that you have a strong foundation when the depressing moments come, or anxiety moments, somebody breaks up with you, right, or you lose somebody in your family, or you have those challenges that may lead to you going downhill or having a moment of losing your job,
right,
you lose your girlfriend, but you got some self-loving habits, right, to fall back on. You got that old school book you can go read, or your diary you write down that you saw, things you have a foundation.
Right.
It's not about it being a fairy tale. It's about having a foundation, because usually what happens is people have a foundation at home, hopefully. That's been broken in our community.
Right.
So we don't have that centerpiece of love and nurturing at home going on. Because in the city, everybody's working so hard, surviving.
Right.
So we're missing that core foundation,
right,
externally in our house.
Yes.
So you gotta find some way to love yourself if others ain't loving you.
Yes. So we're talking. So this is what I love about conversation, because we can say the same thing and we have a different perspective on it, right? And what I'm saying is, this perspective I'm coming from is like you talking self-love, right?
Yeah, I got
when you were talking to that young lady here,
right,
she has no self-love right now, right?
No, she might love herself, but she's not dealing with the things that she don't love. There's one thing, self-love is one thing, but you also have things that you don't like about yourself. Self-love is not you just paint your brush and you love yourself and you walk around with love. No.
So basically what you're saying is that self-love is conditional. Like I can love myself in one area and not the other. Well, that's what you're saying?
Right. You can love
then
this
that's
about
not
yourself.
Love. Love is unconditional.
That's not true.
What is it then?
Love is something. It's a foundation of feelings you have for yourself. I love myself.
Right. So
but I don't like.
Okay.
I don't like. Okay. So that's what I told her.
Self-love is I accept it all. I accept
who I am.
Like I'm
right,
a particular
right.
I'm a particular motherfucker. That's
right.
like, yo,
that's fine. But
right,
you still got things that you don't like about yourself. You're still growing into who you are. Love is evolution. Love is just like, I love myself and that's it. No, you pick up bad habits that you don't like about yourself. That's like, not love. Like, I asked the sister, do she like the way she looked? Because she didn't like, and she kind of, so she didn't like how she looked. Right. And not dealing with that could breed some anxiety because you don't like the way you look. You don't like the way, so then here we go. You self-talking to yourself negatively because you don't like the way you look. So now you build those self-talks, negative self-talk with yourself because you're not happy. Like I said, I'm not happy with the way my face breaks. I'm not happy with it. So now you gotta, it's kind of like you gotta find some balance.
Right, so that spot right there, what you're saying, like, you gave her a spark.
Hopefully, yeah.
You gave, like, I saw it.
Okay.
Like, you're in the conversation. Like,
okay.
I'm just saying, I'm observing this whole transaction. And I can tell there was
specific... So guys, so Paul's talking about, just give me some little...
Please.
We're going to give you a little, set the table a little bit. I was talking to one of my players after the workout. She came and picked up her books, and we talked, and her body language is always off in our workouts. Yep. And I'm the one now, I like to have fun still. I still like to joke around with these people. especially especially where I'm from. The hood community is tough. It's hard enough. It got me being stern on them and expectations. So I see her body language is always off in our workouts. I used to think it's being lazy. I got on her and a few people. But then today she came in to pick up something while we were here, and the energy wrote that I spoke to her briefly. So we talked about her body language, and I talked about accidents. She said she's suffering from headaches, and her chest hurt.
And she's going through a lot right now.
But she said she's going through a lot, but then she started talking about physical issues now. Neurological issues where her head hurt. It come across her head, she said. Chest pains. Why she can't stay and play with the rest of the girls playing basketball. That's serious, life-threatening elements.
Right.
So that forced me to say, let me open this door. If she walks out of here and something happens to her, and I never conversated with her, I don't have that regret.
Right.
As a coach, not just a coach, as a man, a grown adult. This young lady's probably 18 to 21 years old. I know better. I know more than her, and she respects me, and I learned that. So we had a conversation. So that's what he was referring to, the conversation with her. So when you hear him say the conversation with her,
yes,
he's seeing her light up, or it resonated. That's what he's talking about.
Yeah, thank you for that context. So what in that transaction, when you're probing, when you're asking questions, and when you're finding out, you're getting to the root of what's happening. First of all, that's her learning to receive love. Because what I was seeing was that she was engaged with what you're saying, because my judgment is very few people are having that conversation with her.
Wow.
Okay? Very few people are having that conversation with her. Now, you're talking self-love. I get that completely, bro. I'm with you 100%. What I'm talking is that she has, in her situation, she's beating herself down. She's like, I haven't done this, blah, blah. I'm not going to get into all specifics,
right.
but she's like this. When you were like, yo, good job. I see you working like this. She started smiling.
Right.
You planted a seed, because now she received love from you that now she can nurture and go for herself.
Gave some guidance.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what I'm talking about, the receiving.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Because like right there in that scenario, and there were several moments in that space where by you giving her the attention, this is what I'm talking about with that authentic support group. Someone like an advisor like you that gives a shit, that's patient, that's intense with them. She's like, I'm gonna listen to what this dude says. Oh, jump. He noticed that I'm getting better. I didn't think I was. She's in a space where right now her self-love is all of a sudden, and when I say it's confusing. She's lost with it.
That's a new world.
Yeah, I'm a sound effects cat. Well, I love some sound effects. But so when you said that, and there were several moments, things clicked for her.
What?
Even to the point where you're like, yo, oh shoot. When you even asked about, yo, how you eat, blah, blah, blah. You want a banana? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a piece there, man, because
he's breaking it down, man. You can tell the vibe and energy.
Yeah.
And he's talking about, I asked her if she wants something to eat, because she just said she only eats once a day most of the time, which is fine, because if anybody studying like the nation, Elijah Muhammad talks about eating to live and eating once a day.
Right.
You know what I mean? And allowing your body to process. But that's a whole nother conversation. But she says that's not why she's eating that way. But she eats once a day, so that's when they kind of. But the whole thing that I learned, and you're talking about, is bringing things full circle.
Yeah.
I can break you down, and I've done it, about why you're not getting better and what things you need to be better with. But now, am I coming with? Do I understand the full person I'm talking to? That I'm coaching. Am I really validating my ego, or I'm really being an leader, an adult, building and coaching a person up outside of the sport that we're playing? And am I trying to get them better for myself, my own purpose, to win a game? Or am I building their internal clock and leaving them something to go home with to feel good?
Right.
So the conversation with, hey, what's wrong? What's going on? I got a lot going on, coach. What does that mean? Trying to probe. And then she was open, she was receptive, like you said. She came closer, she talked. And then I turned around and tried to give her some confidence to let her know she has been working better. Yeah. And I noticed it because I noticed when she wasn't working better, so I got to know, I had to learn as a coach, I had to evolve. My love of what I do had to evolve. Right. So it's not like just self-love, the word self-love, it's love is the evolution that grows, evolves, if you want to get better at building people as a leader. Because leader is not about what you know, it's who you impact.
That's true.
In the lives that you change, who goes back and say, that coach really changed my life.
Right.
Now, you building a sister, a woman, they're going to change their kids. They're going to teach their kids the same model.
That's the thing. See, this is, now, okay, so this is something that's really important, especially in the black community.
Hey, are we losing you guys? Make sure we on top, man. I want y'all to really, like, chime in, leave your comments, and really interact so we know how to go with this. But right now, I'm hoping that we're not losing you. I hope that, I'm sure it's resonating because it's deep,
content,
real content that we're sharing from the heart.
Yeah.
So we allowing you in our conversation. It's very personal information that we're doing is to really help you.
Yes.
To help us.
Yes.
To give back to the community and give back to us, and we want the same energy in return so that we can have a building session.
Right.
You know?
Yep. This is why this conversation is important. Something I've been studying, I've really been diving into recently, is something called epigenetics.
You want to have this conversation now? Oh, yeah.
Yo, man, look. Because what you just did right there, you activated DNA. So what this, just a real quick example, and by no means am I the expert in this. What it is basically what there's studies are finding is that trauma that existed in great-grandparents will have an impact on the great-grandkids, because what happens is in our DNA, it activates parts of our DNA, or trauma can block parts of our DNA, which can lead to generational self-talk, generational trauma, all these sorts of things. So when you were talking about before in the neighborhood, like, whether it's Jersey City or somewhere else, or however someone grew up and they experienced trauma, now there's a blockage in the DNA. Now when there's an opportunity or a switch, whether that's in planting a seed, energetic release, something of that nature, now it unblocks that DNA. So now that person has a different, they're shifted. They've shifted. So why I say this and why I bring this up is basically what just happened in that scenario. A part of her shifted.
Okay.
A part of her shifted.
I think sometimes as we get so deep into certain scientific things that we learn institutionalized, we lose people. Because DNA is a whole other level of, what I got from you just now was the trauma from generation to generation.
Right.
Sometimes you say a lot in a little and you lose people. They're like, it's just like you give an example. So that, for me, my common sense, because I guess I ain't that smart to cut you on a lot of it, is generational trauma. Right. My question was to you, and to the audience, really, it's not even a question, is do we sometimes know trauma when we in a traumatic moment, do we know? Because our whole being, grandfather, great-grandfather, is a traumatic beginning in this country that we live in this America that we're in. So, it's traumatic, and how to deal with it, guys. So I want to come in some closing content. And we've been talking about solutions, which I'm happy about.
Yeah. And the solutions, by the way, self-love
go back over it? Okay.
and authentic support. Do we have any other solutions that you can think
well,
of?
we definitely went over examples of self-love to give you a better idea. Because I don't like getting caught up in terms, but we also went into detail. Y'all listen to certain parts of the video. You said
support, authentic support,
real support around you that loves you.
Yep.
And we also talked about, we also went into what love is, and everybody loves differently. We also worked out, I gave you an example of me working out or investing in myself to make sure I got some type of foundation. Some people go to church as their foundation. Some people do yoga. Say that again?
I sit with myself. Meditation.
Meditation. That's something I always worked on, but it never worked for me because my mind would just keep moving. There's something deeper that you had to get into. And yoga helped me out a little bit with that, breathing, understanding how the breath goes. So we talk about plethora of solutions and ways to cope, and how to, now you get to the bottom of it, is dealing with it. Now how you deal with it is your decision, but we give examples of how we may deal with it: writing it down, talking about it, writing a song, singing about it, verbalizing it so that you can talk it out loud and hear it, talk to yourself out loud so you can hear it and then resonate and write some things down. So in our community, I hope that, we continue to have some positive ways to cope with it. Not just going out and drink, not going out with that anger that somebody talks to you and you trigger something and you just react and do what you got to do. and really come with that. But hopefully, now next discussion we're going to talk about fear and confidence, building confidence. We just hindered it with the young lady of building her confidence in order she can compete at this level. So that's what I'm gonna close out on. Again, I'm Omar Jones. You can catch me on Instagram at Omar A Jones. My business website or my training website is Ozone Performance on Instagram. Ozone, one word, performance, one word on Instagram.
Paul Newell, Men's Mentor. You can check me on Instagram at New Wellness Guide, NEWELLNESSGUIDE. Also, New Wellness Neighborhood on Facebook. That's the business page. Website is www.newwellnessguide.com.
NewWellnessGuide.com.
Yep, because I'm a guide. I'm a guide. I'm gonna help you pull out your best in yourself. That's what I do. And,
hopefully tonight we did that.
Yes.
Hopefully tonight we did that.
I'm digging it, man.
Yeah, hopefully we did that, man.
Combos.
And again, guys, we're looking for your energy. Chime in.
Input.
We're going to keep going because it's therapeutic for us and it's therapeutic for a lot of folks that really wants therapy, that wants help. It's not even therapy because we're not psychiatrists. We never claim to be, not trying to be. We're here to heal and help heal and create an environment of wellness that resonate with you, and we can stick together and become a powerful vessel of wellness.
I say
peace.